I'm pleased that following this conversation on innovation and competitiveness, the next panel session will come right across these topics as well, but from a different perspective, since we will talk about sustainable development and smart cities. And I'm pleased to invite on stage the moderator of the conversation, Mr. Andrew Tyler, who is the Academic Director for Scotland's International Environment Centre at the University of Stirling. Andrew, please, you have the floor.
Thank you. That's the first time I've been introduced with music, so that's amazing. This has been a hugely stimulating event, so I'm very humbled to be here. And as we said, we're just going to move the conversation on now to think about sustainable development and smart cities and how we can use digital technologies to really tackle the challenges that we have in the urban environment in particular. And no matter where we are on this planet, we're being impacted by pressures of change, be they climate, be they economic, be they social unrest, and political. And our urban environments and city environments are no exception, and indeed, they're perhaps even the collision zone where many of these factors interact and amplify. So often acting together. And perhaps the pace of the change is now unprecedented. So IoT, digital technologies provide the opportunity to drive new systemic understanding, to support and accelerate solutions delivery, removing perhaps some of the risk about these new innovative solutions, and ensure that we are fit and resilient and not only able to survive, but thrive and prosper. And to do so at an unprecedented time of change and unrest. And to be prosperous means that we also have to be sustainable. So how can digital technology help us? So without further ado, because our panelists are also short on time, I'd like to invite onto stage our panel, one by one, to unpack these challenges and opportunities. So first of all, I'd like to introduce the Mayor, Ciprian Ciucu. He's the Mayor of District 6 of Bucharest, which is the western part of the city, and this is his second term in office, having won two elections in 2020 and 2024. And prior to this, Ciprian was the president of the National Agency of Civil Servants and co-founder and president of the think tank, the Romanian Center for European Policies, which was between 2009 and 2015. He brings lots of experience from around the Black Sea, and in particular around public policy and management, and he's also been a visiting professor at the University of Bucharest between 2007 and 2013. So thank you, Ciprian. So our next panelist is also a mayor, Georg Tuță. He's the mayor of District 1 in Bucharest. And he's in his first term of office, but he has a background. He's an economist by training, and he has more than 18 years' experience in public administration, having worked in key national and European institutions, including the Ministry of Transport, the Ministry of Development, and the Romanian Parliament, and European Parliament, and the Romanian Intelligence Service as well. Just to also say that between 2020 and 2024, he was a member of the Parliament, and his legislative work really focused on digitization and artificial intelligence, and the emphasis on automation and repetitive tasks, and the impact that has on both the public and the private sectors. So a very warm welcome, Ciprian. And I should say both our mayors are also partners in the Aspen Bucharest Forum as well. So they're friends and family here. And then our third panelist is Professor Jörg Noennig. He's a professor of digital cities science at University in Hamburg, and he's head of the Wissen Architecture Laboratory, the Knowledge Architecture in Technical University Dresden. He's a co-founder of a software startup. Jörg has also practiced in architecture in Tokyo, and he maintains his links as a visiting professor at Toyo University in Tokyo. And his research focuses very much on digital cities and interactive, co-creative spaces from architectural to the urban level. He's published extensively and has also won a grand prize for the European Association of Architectural Education. So very warm welcome to our expert panelists. So to kick off, then my first question is to not think about the digital, but to think about the challenges that we have in our urban environment. And I've been visiting Bucharest now for 14 years with a series of research projects I've been in partnership with here across Romania and actually the Black Sea region as well. I've seen huge changes, beneficial changes. I've seen Bucharest really transform to become a really prosperous city. But no doubt it still has challenges. So I'd really like to ask, first of all, Ciprian to start off, to think about what are the challenges that we are facing in Bucharest now and looking into the future, especially.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here. I remember, I think it was in 2002. No, later, 2008. Yeah, my bad. When I was an alumni of the Young Leaders Aspen program. Very, very good program. Thank you very much, Mr. John. Now, to answer to the question, first of all, challenges. So we are not talking about small city issues now. We are talking about the global general challenges.
Exactly.
One of the challenge, and as everybody knows here in Romania, in Bucharest especially, is the governance. Because we have 7 mayors, which are not subordinated to the general mayor, the other 6, and they are more coordinated. And you have a governance problem because investment, big project, doesn't follow one vision. So sometimes there are different visions, which might be okay, but if the vision are in contrast with one with the other, of the mayor with the general mayor, or amongst mayors, then you may have a problem. Also, there are problems, of course, with quality of air due to different sources of pollution, many of them being the traffic. And quality of air means basically health problems. And we have another problem we have the second largest centralized heating system after Moscow that was built during the communism, and it was built in order to support the main industries like a ring around Bucharest, because they are state-owned big industries that are not anymore functioning because the technology and so on history left them behind, and this huge system it was designed to produce energy as a residual to produce heat, for the apartments. And now it is very expensive to run it and to maintain it. It needs a lot of investments. It can be for sure saved. And I could go on and on and on, yes, but I'm going to stop here because we have so many challenges, and I only said about 3 of them: governance, health problem because of pollution and this heating system that needs maintenance and investments.
Thank you, Ciprian. There's a real, I think you're already demonstrating the diversity, the challenges that we have in city environments. George, given the fact you're newer in office, perhaps you can give a different perspective as well from your position.
Hello, thank you very much for having me here. Thank you for the invitation, and congratulations, Aspen, for keeping this tradition to get hard questions for, let's try some smart answers. Difficulties, I'll try to put in one sentence. We have too many small problems that administration didn't solve it at the time, and now they are huge problem. And it starts here from, I don't know, managing the green spaces, the parks, the trees, traffic, and one of the huge challenging that we have in Sector 1, it's the school network. Because the entire school network, the entire school buildings are concentrated in the city center, and we have a lot of new neighborhoods, more than 10,000 people in each neighborhood that are living without any public schools. And this is a huge challenge because they are contribute to the climate change a lot by using the car daily. The public transportation didn't develop at the same speed as the other developments has been done. And another thing that I'm considering essentially in these challenges is people need to talk and solve the problem quicker. And we are still in an age that we are working in a bureaucracy, send us a require, a claim, we are taking that claim, we are analyzing, somebody is approving that claim and trying to solve it. We need to go to the next level and have direct communication between the public servants and the citizens to solve their problem or to help them to define the problem, because a lot of time people are complaining about an issue and it's not our responsibility, or it's from the general mayor, what Ciprian said before, this system of Bucharest is very complicated, and from the administrative side, we need to simplify for the citizens, and we need to be a servant for the citizens.
That's great. Thank you very much. This is a very complex environment. Jörg, I wonder, maybe you could provide some context in terms of how these challenges might fit into the broader, what we're seeing at the global scale as well, in terms of pressures on cities.
I believe I can. I can present a meta problem of smart cities. Perhaps all of you know that every country has more or less a smart cities mission running, model projects. The Chinese had it, the Indians had it, Germany has right now 80 smart city model projects, 80 smart city model cities going on. And in each of these programs, hundreds, thousands of solutions come up. So we have a confetti of solutions. So for every small problem, we have a small solution. And we don't see the tree, the forest for the trees. And George just presented me a couple of minutes ago a GIS system that he develops, or they develop for his district. I know there are hundreds of open source solutions out there that would be most probably appropriate and applicable, but we don't know about them. So they are unknown. And many of these solutions, so this confetti of smart city solutions all across the globe, they are unknown, they are unlinked, they are disconnected. So I think this is a kind of meta problem. It's a problem of perhaps knowledge management or technology management and knowledge and technology sharing. But to add perhaps a more concrete issue, also linking to the topic of, or one of the basic or main topics of the forum here, urban resilience may be or may have been addressed already in many aspects. I mean, we have climate adaptation planning, the climate issues in terms of climate resilience are well known. What we do not have in urban development and smart city debates and discourses is the resilience in times of conflict, military conflict. I mean, we have talked extensively about the issue, about the attacks, cyber attacks, but also physical military attacks. There is no model, there are no tools that address that kind of resilience, that kind of vulnerabilities in urban plannings. And in my opinion, a real smart city should address these kind of resiliences, including also the resilience in times of conflict.
Thank you very much. So let's think a little bit more about the digital opportunities then. And Jörg, maybe you can provide a little bit of an overview of, given the context of some of the challenges we've heard, where can digital really help? And again, it's a very broad topic, so we'll try and keep it a little tight. But where can the digital help in these urban environments?
Although the metaphor may be a little bit flawed or not totally appropriate, all of you have heard about the data and as the oil of the 21st century. I mean, it's misleading because oil is shrinking, data are permanently growing, so we are not short of data anymore. But in order to keep within the metaphor, data can be refined into knowledge, into insight, into decisions, into actions, into projects. And if we manage to build data refineries, Yeah, that what we measure, what we collect, what we map digitally with our tools, with our systems, with our analytics, if we manage to transform data into knowledge, into insight, into action, I think we can create immense value, not only in the urban context, but we in our research laboratories, with our students, we try to literally describe and model data refineries. So how to take the input of data and how to qualify them up and to come from the urban quantities, the data that we collect about cities, to urban qualities. I mean, perhaps we do not need more data, it's plenty, maybe too much, but we never have enough of certain urban qualities, be it safety, be it sustainability, be it resilience, be it beauty, but we have to translate the quantitative measures into qualitative values. And that sounds easy, but it's really difficult, also scientifically, methodologically, but we're working on it, and I see a huge prospect in that.
That's great. Thank you very much. So perhaps going back to our mayors and thinking about the challenges you set, can you maybe explain opportunities where the digital technologies can help in maybe tackling some of those challenges? So Ciprian, in terms of, trying to drive that collective action across Bucharest, for example, how can digital help tackle some of these key problem areas?
First of all, I would like to discuss a little bit, just brief, about smart city concept. Because nowadays, smart city for many people means data, and how to work with data, and how to have sensors, and how to have automatizations. But this is not enough, because you can put all the sensors like everywhere, you can have a lot of data, but you cannot take decision. So, smart city, in my opinion, means smart decisions based on automatization, sensors, and big data in order to help you to monitor in the real time and take quick decisions if needed. For example, you have some air pollution in some street, and it is due to the weather condition, it is there for, like, say, more than 48 hours. That presents a huge risk for the health of the citizens, and you, based on the data, on the monitoring, and on knowledge, you take the decision just to interrupt the traffic, if the traffic is the main source of the pollution there. So you have the monitoring aspect, and of course you have the long-term planning aspect based on evaluations. So in my opinion, this is smart city, smart decision, and smart management based on data, and evidence-based policies also based on data. But we have huge problems, for instance, in Bucharest, because, as I said, it all starts from the governance. We don't have one application for, let's say, taxes, paying taxes, and you have maybe 6 applications. You may have more applications for parkings, and so on. So I think this should start at the level of the general mayor. If I'm not going to say it now. So we started to implement this citizen-dedicated application. Of course, it is the type of usually application that people can send us GPS coordinates with photographs and to signal a problem from Sector 6. It has already 50,000 users as we speak right now. But this application also have what is called KPIs, key performance indicators.
Yes.
For every service, public service that we provide, there is a time that we have to answer, that we acknowledge the problem, and a time to resolve a problem. For instance, you have this garbage somewhere. You have maximum 2 hours for my team to be there and take out the problem. If there is a pothole, Of course, you're going to have 72 hours. You have to plan, you have to go and mobilize resources, and so on. And once a week, every director comes to my office and they answer why they meet or they are not meet the KPIs, because the KPIs are for entire public service that we deliver, and tell me what the problem they had and what problem they didn't have. So integrated in the management of this application. Furthermore, of course, this application can ensure us direct communication with citizens, and is useful in many, many other ways. But what I want to say is that it's very important to integrate it in the management at all levels. And of course, there are problems that should be interinstitutional resolved. It's not enough for an institution to resolve a problem. You may need 2 other or 3 other institutions to go together. For instance, there is a person lying on the sidewalk. Yeah? It may be drunk, it might have different problems, or just sleeping there for, I don't know, on the bench. Mm-hmm. It's not okay just to send the police and say, go away, go away. It's not okay only to send the social services, yes, because they also need protections if there might be problem. So of course, the social services are go there, they are approaching this person, but police is going them and help them and maintain the trust, yes? And we provide first social services for that person, and after, and of course we resolve the problem, because it's not okay for people to lie everywhere in the street. So what I'm trying to say, and I can give you countless examples, these applications or these IT solutions has to be internalized, because we pay money for different applications and they're not getting to be used. So you have to train people, you have to allocate resources, and you have to monitor them, evaluate results. Yes, and these are meta actions basically. So, and I'm going to give you another example, and I'm going to finish here. The first version of the application, because now we have 2.0. When we announced the application, we had huge success. 20,000 people already downloaded and started to send us different problems, different problems from the sector. And of course, for them it's very easy. I'm passing by some street, there is a problem there, I'm going to have a photograph and I'm going to send the problem to the mayor. But the mayor has to allocate resources. So it was very inefficient for the public services, because they have to go in disparate ways in different parts of the sector. And they say, we are overwhelmed, please let us not to answer to the application and let us work in a planning matter. Of course, I had this meeting with them, and we decided that at least 2/3 of the resources are going to be allocated to the planned, organized manner to resolve problems, and only up to 30% to answer and to prioritize the problems that are coming from the citizens. Yes? And of course, it has to be this balance to have an equilibrium between allocating resources and organized manner of working, and how do you answer to the population. Because if you are going only on that side, you are going to be more expensive and very inefficient. Yes? So there is like an art. You have to work on different levels, integrate different decision makers, different institutions to work together all the time, and always monitor and understand what is the added value of the digitalization, and be very aware of it. How do you use it in the act of administration of public management? So, yeah.
That's excellent. I think that really demonstrates, actually picked up a few of my questions that I don't need to ask now, so that's good.
I told you it is not my fault. I don't really have time to stay beyond 1 o'clock.
No, it's not criticism. It's brilliant. What you've really emphasized there is that actually you've been really good in terms of connecting with your community, but now you're inundated with challenges from the community, and the technology is externalized, and you need to bring it internal so that you can optimize and drive AI-type solutions within that space, I think. So that's what I'm hearing. That's really exciting, but challenging. I can hear that. Can we move on to Jörg in terms of...
Ciprian describes perfectly our situation.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, we do have difficulties to answer, but for us, the most important thing was to vectorize data. So transforming the information to data. This is another huge, important step that is necessary in a process of digital transformation, because we have the information, but we cannot access that information. It's not an open data that you can, I don't know, question anything and answer with data. So I can give you an example. When I start, I discussed with the team and starting more than 50 projects in the same time, and was very difficult even for them, even for me to monitorize this. And we are using now a task manager platform, an easy platform. Everybody puts their task there and make the reports, and it's very important to have this analytics weekly to understand where is the challenge, where we can improve something in our process to deliver faster than before and improve weekly the answer of the authority. This is for sure the most important thing in this process is the leading part of the process, and you have to be involved. We, as a mayor, we cannot have an advisor that is on digital transformation, and we are using the papers and all the analogical things also. In my opinion, you cannot transform any institution if the leader is not a digital-wise profile. So we need to train people also, and this is another thing that is very important because people are considering an enemy also the technology. They are taking their jobs. They are taking the robots are dangerous for their future. And I had a lot of debates in Parliament when I was chairing a committee for future of work. And this is the main challenge because people doesn't understand. And it's another thing which is very important in this process because during the transformation, you need to work the both sides, analogic and digital. Because in the local services, you cannot say stop for 2 months, let's implement this solution, and after that, we relaunch the activity, I don't know, on any public services. So that means it's a hard process in the beginning to make an easier job later. And this means a lot of training. It needs to speak with the people, with the public servant to make them understand this effort here will help us in the future. Let's put the old, I don't know, street holes in this platform because after that we have data and we know how to monitorize the repairment of this public problem. So without data, we do have the information. Any city hall has the information, but that doesn't mean it's data. Without data, you cannot governance and use digitalize to make your decision easier and with impact. Thank you. So what we're hearing is that there are obviously opportunities and challenges, but critical here is that there are also a lot of this digital technology is externalized. Probably have many providers of that technology.
Jörg, can you maybe provide some advice in terms of how we could take that forward and try and internalize that capability into an organization, into a government, into a local authority?
I think both mayors have addressed the issue already quite beautifully.
Yeah.
I mean, those tools, solutions, systems, platforms, whatever, they have to have users, caretakers. From our own perspective, we have developed dozens of tools. And they are our brainchild, so they are our babies, technological babies, intellectual babies. And half of our babies are stray babies. They are not taken up by the administrations. We did not manage to bring them into application. And why was that so? We did not co-create them. We did not develop them from the very beginning with the end users. So this end user co-creation, so to involve the people who in the end of the day have to work with these things, have to further develop these things, also of course have to finance the operations and operate. I mean, these are conditions that follow track. Once a solution, one of these technological childs is out there, somebody has to take care of it. Yeah. And a caretaker cannot be found afterwards. It should be clear from the beginning who are the parents of this tool. And making the administrations, making the end users early on feeling responsible, of course feeling interested, being demand-driven about these tools is one of the secret things or secret sauces that make a tool development or digital solution successful in the very end.
Great, thank you very much. We should have two last questions, and if we can answer this one quite quickly, but it's a big question, I'm sorry, and maybe to you, Jörg, in particular. Clearly, as we drive more internal digitalization of our understanding of the community, the city, etc., that opens up to threats as well. And cybersecurity, we've seen the challenges around Amazon Web Services just recently. How do we protect ourselves from these threats, and how do we make ourselves resilient, if you like, to these cybersecurity issues?
But that's certainly an open question. I mean, we can come up with the most beautiful connected digital tools, city infrastructures, all is connected, and all these connections, of course, open points for attacks, and the attacks are traveling, or the disaster travels, so to say, through the connected system. So that's certainly something that we have noticed, but we have no final solution how to protect urban digital systems from these kind of vulnerabilities. With my students in my classes, we are hacking urban systems. So it's one of our, exercises that we carry out in order to find out where urban systems are vulnerable in order to redesign them. First, we make a checkup of the vulnerability, and then, of course, we want to improve and strengthen the resistance or the resilience of those systems. One answer could be, I mean, we have the opportunity now to integrate the different models into what we call the twins, so digital twins of cities, of neighborhoods. And we can run these threats, we can model, we can experiment with these threats, not with the real city. It would be rather, let's say, risky to experiment with the living body of the city in order to find out where are the weak points and to make these kind of stress tests. But we can do this in the sandboxes and on the playgrounds of our digital twins. If these digital replications of cities, the integrated urban systems, if they are well made, we can model, we can simulate attacks, we can find out the vulnerabilities, and digital twins are, I think, a very, very good opportunity to find out where the weak spots are.
Great, thank you, Jörg. That's very helpful. So, final word from each of our panelists then, and a positive look into the future. So, what's your vision for a sustainable smart city for 2050? So, maybe start with you, Ciprian.
I was prepared to continue the answer from the side of the mayor to the security.
But if you want to just say quickly,
very blunt,
yes,
because we had these kind of threats,
yes,
and we dealt with it.
Yes.
So first of all, as a mayor, look for the best solutions for security in the market, allocate budgets, ensure that well-established companies, even international companies, are the ones to ensure you the security, not small apartment companies. Because if it's going to be an attack, and most probably it is going to be an attack, you have to have somebody accountable, because this is a very technical issue. So if a big company, if their system, security system is breached, of course, this company is going to be affected at its core, at international level, because this is a global world, and their stock markets are going to fall. So they are so very interested to be very keen on security and so very interested for their own business, yeah, to eliminate all the threats and to invest and allocate resources in that moment when you're attacked. If there is a small company, apartment company, you have no guarantees. So I look as a mayor, get these companies in the house, allocate budget, and this is the solution from my side as a decision maker. Yeah. Regarding the challenges, not the challenges, the vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like Bucharest to be. I don't know how to say it in English. Maybe somebody will help me with the translation. Să fie pus la punct.
So we need a translation.
It is an expression in Romanian. Yeah. In my district, you know, to be very well maintained all the time.
Yes.
And to take care about the investments. In my sector, if I see a bollard, you know, more than 48 hours dropped, I'm going to be like crazy with my colleagues, you know. How can you let that happen more than 48 hours? How didn't see what is happening on the street? Of course. And in other parts of Bucharest, I go along, if you want, I won't say the name of the streets because I don't want to say anything about other colleagues. And I see the same problem there for 6 months, even 2 years. Yeah. There are small things, but they are very, very important because my vision is like this. If it's not, maybe not the order is the word that I'm looking for, but if it's not a order in the city, it's not going to be order in the head of the citizens. If the city is not nice, if you don't like to live in that city, you want to go away, the citizens are not going to be nice. Because the cities have this formative effect on every and each one of us. So my vision is that this city to be very properly managed, yeah, and you have to like to be there. You want to be. You don't want to live because many of our concitizens, they want to leave Bucharest at the end of the week and go anywhere else, but not in the city. I want them to love to stay in the city.
That's a good note to stop on there. That's great. And Jörg, would you like to add to that? Thank you.
I totally agree with Ciprian. We need to get Bucharest pus la punct. And we need to do this with another challenge that we didn't tackle today, which I consider very important also, which is the lack of trust. Because misinformation, a lot of this hybrid cyber attacks that way, this hybrid war that entire Europe is passing through, or other parts of the world, the free world, and this fake news and a lot of subjects that was presenting on the public agenda as a misinformation demolish the trust between citizens and administration. And also the administration, politicians, they promise a lot and they didn't keep their promises. Yeah. And this lack of trust needs to be built to have this community when everybody understand the rules, respect the rules, and are taking position when somebody is not having. Because the garbage is not by itself there. Somebody put it,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And we need to have processes, we need to have services, we need to have systems that provide trust and build this strong relation between citizens and people that are paid to serve their needs. And we need to rebuild this.
Thank you. We've just about run out of time. Do you want to have a final word or two, Jörg, in terms of your vision from the cutting edge of the technology perspective?
I like the trustful city.
Yeah.
That's a good summary. I don't like the smart city as a term. Whenever possible, I try to replace it with better terms. I think replacing it with notions of resilience is not wrong. Yep. And you may know that in terms of resilience, there's a concept bouncing back, so getting back after shock to the previous state. I think we should rather bounce forward, use the crisis, the threats, the shocks as a resource, and like a judoka, a judo fighter, use the incoming energy in order to make a forward movement. This kind of resilience, this kind of capacity to deal with the necessary and certain shocks, crises that are around us, I think is a positive quality.
Thank you very much. We're going to have to stop there because I know people have to depart very quickly. So can we first of all thank everyone, thank our panelists for their time, the very valuable time they've given to us today, and for the really excellent discussion as well. So thank you very much. That's been really good. Thank you.